Hello everyone, welcome to Rob's Repairs. Today I got a good one for you. You guessed it, back on the Mustang. Just wanted to give you an update on it. Made a video on the hood a while back. Doesn't look too bad. It ain't perfectly straight, but it's not, you know, it's presentable. It's not perfect, like I say. Unfortunately, these aftermarket hoods don't fit, so I ended up putting a dent in it. Not happy. I put a block of wood right on this edge. I was trying to get the hood down. As you can see, it's up just a little bit here. Nothing you can do about it. So anyway, I put the block of wood right on the edge, and somehow it slipped a little bit, and I ended up putting just a little indentation right in here. I don't think you can see it in the camera, but so we're gonna do a little PDR on it. What I ended up doing on the fender to get the fender up a little bit is I put some shims under 1 bolt, 2 bolts, 3, 4, maybe 5 bolts. I kind of just raised the fender up just in this area here. Unfortunately, that's what you got to do with these aftermarket parts, because you ain't going to bend the hood. Now this is a prime example. I didn't do any shims on the fender yet. The gaps are okay, nice and decent here. Gets wider though, and then really tight here. So I mean, you're done. You can't bring the fender in. You got to live with this gap. So I'm gonna put some shims probably under this bolt, that one, and that one, and that one. Try to raise the fender up a little bit. Hopefully it'll be a little bit better with the hood. So today, just wanted to show you what the progress is going on the car. I got all the parts on it. Everything's lined up as best as it could get. You got wider gap there, tighter gap down there, but that's Ford for you. Everything else is done. I got to get the windshield put in it. So we're working on the front end, and I thought we'll make a quick PDR video on the hood here, and I'll show you what I got going here in a sec. I'm gonna get set up. Be right back here. Okay, I'm set up. Don't even need my PDR light because we're using the light up there. I just got one bulb taped off there, and I'm guessing you can see it. Now I marked it, so this is the outer part of the hood which has no dent. And it's like a little indentation right on the inside here, and I marked it exactly where it is. So it starts real minor. I could probably leave the 2 dots, maybe the 3rd dot leave. It starts getting heavy right here, 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 and the rest of the way. And yep, all the way to that dot there. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little glue pulling now. Glue pulling is a totally different art of PDR, and you could over pull real quick, and you could also pull paint real quick. So I'm hoping I don't pull paint. I'm not going to get aggressive with it. I'm going to use this lifter. It's called the mini lifter. You can see the throw it's got. You can adjust it. If you want a little bit of throw, you just turn this knob back and it brings it down to where you don't hardly get anything, and then you turn it up if you want more pull on the dent. So you want to start out with the least amount and look at it and see what it did. So that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to go ahead and put some glue and a tab on here. I think if I just set the camera down, yep, if I just set the camera down, you'll be able to see kind of what I'm doing. So recommend a fender cover too. I'm using a flat tab. And I'm using some hot glue. Just putting a small bead on. Nothing crazy. I turn it like that just so it cuts off the glue. And now I'm just looking, where should I put it? But I marked where the tab needs to go, so I'm just going to go right there. And so now I'm in front of the 3. Actually, the third one I didn't really need to put, but these 2 are okay. They're real small micro lows, I call them. So where the tab is now, it's just a little bit bigger. Wait time's about 10-15 seconds. I'd say it's ready. So first thing you want to do is you want to make sure you got clean feet on your lifter. You want to put your lifter on. And as you can see, I got this much of pull. I really don't want that much. But if you're good, you know, if you're skilled, then you can just, you know, adjust it without turning this. But if you want less pull, watch, I'll unscrew this and it just lifts it right up to no pull. That's nice. So let's just say you want to do that. Let's just try this for a sec. Okay, that's all I'm going to go. You don't want to get carried away when you glue pull, especially on paint that you've repainted. And you know, so what am I pulling on? I'm pulling on primer and paint, clear coat. So this is 100% alcohol. Doesn't hurt the paint. It's gonna take off my little dots though. Actually, the dots are still on the glue, but you can kind of see the dots. It didn't pull any paint because there's no green on there, so that's a good thing. Not sure what that black is there. It looks like some undercoat or something got on my lifter, so I got to clean that off quick. So now my next step, not worry about that, but now I'm going to see what we just did in the light. I'm going to look in the light. I don't think the PDR is going to see it. So it's still wet, so you just have to take a microfiber towel, make sure it's clean. I'm just going to dab it, because when you dab it, you don't mark or take your marks off. So otherwise you got to keep marking it. So let's see now. It actually did something. And I know you guys can't see it in the camera, but I'm going to show you something here. You might be able to see it. Heck. See it. My GoPro's blank on the back side, so I can't see what you guys are seeing. So I'm holding it about 1 inch, maybe 2 inches from the hood. And we're looking right there. So just that little teeny weeny pull brought it right where I need it. It's a titch high right there. So the pull or the lift or the tab was here to here, and it makes most of its pull right where the center of the tab is. So the center of the tab is right there. It's a little high. That's what you're looking for. You gotta get the metal up in order to get the dent out. So what I need to do now is I need to tap it right there gently, just so it's level. And I'm going to look in the light and tap it at the same time. So I'm going to put the camera right there. Hopefully you can see that. If I had a cameraman and really good lighting, we'd be in like Flynn. So I'm going to actually see if my light can even help me here. So it's real critical when you tap down that you don't hit it too hard. So I'm just looking at it right now, and I can see the high right there, but I have a hard time seeing it at this angle. So I'm going to put my light this way and then hit into the light. You have to see. If you can't see what you're doing, you're not going to fix the dent. So I'm going to move my light. Okay, I moved the light. So this, I hope you guys can see this, but I don't know if you can or can't. So I'm looking, my light is in front of me obviously, and I'm looking at the shine of the light on the hood, and I can see a high spot right at this dot. I mean, it is so minute. I'm happy it came up, and I know I'm going to be able to get this dent out. So that's the main thing, get it out so it doesn't look bad. So I'm going to go ahead and do couple little taps right there, and then we're going to glue pull some more. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but I'm just going to take a rubber tip tool here. I'm right on top of the high spot. I lay my tap down right on the high spot. Just give it a little bit. The goal is not to dent it. And that's it. Because if you dent it, what do you got? You got another dent to fix. And we don't want to be messing around. So now okay, now this is where we would tap down right there, so that there's a little low. These are micro lows. One here, here, and here now. So now I'm going to concentrate on 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to put the tab right, the middle of the tab right there, because it's low, low in this area. It's low in the whole area, but we're just going to walk down the line. So let's go ahead and try another tab. I'm going to use the same tab. It's a strong tab, it works good. You want to be careful where you place it. You want to make sure you know exactly where you're putting it. You want it right on the inner part of the low. You don't want it anywhere else but. That's why I mark it with the marker, so I know exactly where it is. So if you can see, the inner part of the tab, the middle part of the tab is right at the mark, and there's the other mark, and there's a mark right in the middle there. So that it does most of its pulling right here. It'll pull here and here if the tab is real strong. If it's weak, it won't as much. This tab here is strong, so it's going to try to pull. It'll pull more here, but it'll also pull on the ends. So about 10 seconds is up. We're going to go ahead and give it a pull. I already had it adjusted here, so I'm not going to mess around. I'm going to go ahead and just give it a little bit. I'm watching it lift up, and you can see it. You can literally see the metal come up. And I didn't even go this whole distance. I went half of this distance right here. That's it, half of it. So now we're gonna take the tab off. With the alcohol. Not getting carried away. It should just pull right off. And there's the middle mark, which is right there, I think. No, yeah, the middle mark is right there. So hopefully we got a high spot. That's what we're looking for. Or perfect, you know. Usually gotta tap it down. So I'm just dabbing it so I don't wipe off the dots. I can still see where the dots are. Now I'm going to clean off my tab because it's got glue, or it's got alcohol on it, so the glue will come off pretty base. A little bit left on there. You can just fiddle with it, it'll come off. Or put some more alcohol on, which I'm going to. Yeah, you want to clean your tab right away. It's easier to clean right away. Okay, now I got high spot. Just what we wanted. Very minute. Very minute. And I can't see my high spot from this light, but I can see it from my light. So now the high spot is in the middle mark, which is right there. Very small. You can just barely see it. And if I dip my head up and down, I can see the light that's on the hood, and right here the light actually pinches a little bit. It gets smaller, and that's where the high spot is. Right there. So we're going to go ahead and give it a little tap. Gently. I'm using a little rubber ball there with a rubber tip on it. It's actually metal with a rubber tip. I'm gonna set my knockdown right on top of it. I'm gonna give it a tap, and I'm gonna look at it. I'm lifting my head high and low, and I can see it still needs a little, Pretty good now. Just giving it, just to make sure. Like I say, you don't want to dent it. You don't want to dent it. Alright, let's get another tab on there. I can see, basically, I'm just putting it in line with the dots. So I'm looking, I can see it's lower right here, so I'm actually going to eliminate this dot, and I'm going to go this one, this one, and this one. I'm leaving, I consider this a micro low, so there's no reason to put a tab right there right now. So we're going to go all the way down the line with this tab, and then I'm going to come back with and get the micro lows with another tab. And you got a couple different options. You got this tab is really good for micro lows, but not, sometimes it doesn't grab. This one's really good, but you got to be careful with it because it'll leave a little more high than you want. So you got to be real gentle with every tab. So about 10 seconds is up. We're going to give it just a little pull. That's all we did. Gently. Don't want to scratch nothing, don't want to dent nothing. Don't care how long it takes. Just squirting a little bit in there. It won't hurt the paint. That time it took the mark right off, but I know where it is. Not a big deal. This is a grease pencil too, by the way, so it's not gonna hurt the paint or anything. So I'm taking the glue off the tab. Not worrying about that just yet. The glue really does come off a lot easier if you get it right away. If you wait to get the glue off the tab, it takes way longer. Yep, here we go, another high spot. That's what you're looking for. But these, it's a micro right there. I'm hoping you can see it in the camera and the light. If you see the light, you'll see like a little something right there. The light is fat, and seeing how it's high, the light actually stops. And it's dark on this side of it. So hopefully you guys can see that in the camera, I'm not sure. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a tap. yeah, I'm real excited that we can fix this because I kind of bummed me out at, you know, on how the hood was fitting, and you always, you know, you try to do the best you can, and then this is what you get. You buy an aftermarket hood, it's not going to fit right. Okay, there we go. So now we're going to throw another tab. We're going to keep coming down the line. This is working out really good. So, yep, we're just gonna come right here this time. I'm gonna go in between, but yeah, we still got a lot, you know, we still got work to do. They're all micro lows. There's probably, you know, this is the biggest one here. I could do something more in there, you know, micro the whole way again. So we're going to come all the way down the line, and then we're going to come down it one more time with the other tabs, and we should be pretty close. So we got about 10 seconds, so let's go ahead and see if we can get this up. One thing about paintless dent is you better have patience. Because if you don't do it. I guess I don't really care what you do in life, you gotta have patience. Unless you're watching TV and then it really doesn't matter. Unless the remote batteries go bad, and then you start freaking out. But yeah, okay, there we go. We just minutely did it. So there's the light, there's the pinch. So it's high. That's what you're looking for when you glue pull. You gotta get it a little bit high, knock it down, and then you pretty much got the dent. If you get lucky, you won't have to tap it down. So yeah, now I'm looking at it, my light is a little far back because of the arch of the hood, so I want to make sure I can see it to where I need to see it, so I'm moving the hood forward just a titch. Or I move the light forward. Yep, now I can see it better. You want to make sure you know, or you can see it in the light really good, the high spot, before you start tapping on it. Just gingerly tapping on it. Now I might end up tapping it in the same spot again when I get the other micro lows taken care of, because the metal's coming up, you know, it might not be down far enough, but we'll find out. So now we got another tab we got to put on right there. So yeah, don't expect to get the dent out right away. You got to bring it up slow, especially when you're glue pulling. Glue pulling is tougher than tooling. If I could get a tool under there, that'd be great, but there's no access. I'm not going to drill any holes on the bottom of the hood. So this is my only option right here. So it's coming real good. It's turning out good so far. So yeah, we're taking our time, looking at it, tapping it. I'm real excited about how it's gonna. I know it's gonna turn out as good as you know. It's gonna turn out really good, I think. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. An old guy told me once. So this is PDR 101. I'm getting some adhesive on my hood from the tape. Not a big deal, it'll come off, but it's kind of annoying. Okay, just gently lifting it up. I'm gonna put my alcohol on it. Gonna pull it my way. Gonna take the glue off the tab quick while it's wet, nice and clean. Gonna dab it. Okay, that one there is a little higher than most. Let's see. I'm gonna bring you over here. It's a little higher than most. I can barely see it, so I'm gonna bring the light a little bit closer now, and we're gonna tap, and hopefully that'll work out good for us. And then we're gonna do some more glue pulling. So let's give it a little tap-a-roo. Yeah, this one here, I'm glad I set the height on there, but I'm just tapping around the high spot. Yeah, you don't want to go, I mean, that was about max. You don't want to, you try not to pull any harder than that. On aluminum's even, if that would have been on aluminum, I would have to hit it a little bit harder to get it down. So, now I'm looking at where we need to be, and we're looking good. We are looking good. Okay, now I'm actually going to wipe off the marks. Just going to take them off, and I'm going to remark it. Now you gotta be careful with any kind of solvent you put on fresh paint. Just to make sure it's not going to bite in. I can already see that the adhesive left a little mark on here, but that's all buffable. There's no wax on here, it's just buff, so it's going to leave a little something something. So now I'm going to mark the micro lows quick, just so I know where they are. And it's real important to mark them, just so when you put your tab on there, you know pretty much where it needs to go. So I just move my light, I'm going to move the camera here, and now I'm just looking, basically I'm just using that light up top, and I'm looking for all the lows. I'm putting my mark right in the middle of the lows. And I'll still be able to see the lows when I put the tab on it. But this is just giving me a guide on whereabouts they are. Now, one thing you got to realize is the hood comes over the inner. So we got an outer, we got an inner. And the reason why it dented where it did is because the inner and the outer, the inner is about this wide. So basically it dented on the other side of the inner. A lot of times you'll see a line and you won't get that out. So we'll probably see something here, but it'll have to be. So don't expect that line to come out, because basically that line is from the inner. The inner structure kind of goes flat and then down, you know, to do the underside of the hood. And obviously this is flat, and wraps over and pinch, you know, on the pinch weld there. So if you try to tap that line, if there is a line there, you'll never be able to get it out. If you can't get a tool in there, you'll have to live with it. So just remember, glue won't get anything sharp and it won't get anything real deep. So just be careful when you're tapping down that you don't over tap and you just chill out on anything that's on an edge. You'll have to live with what you got. So now I'm actually going to use this tab. I'm going to try to start out with the smaller tab. And we're just going to go down the line again, and we're going to try to do just try to do it slowly. But this time I'm going to come up the line, and I see a low, a start of a low right there. So we're going to go ahead and let that sit. I'm not going to put a bunch of tabs on there and get happy with it, because you need to individually work a tab. Tap it down, move to the next one, tap it down. If you try to do all, you know, pull, take all the tabs off and then do all your tapping, gets a little hectic. So I just kind of like to concentrate on one and move on to the next one. So here we go. And now I'm going to actually turn this so I don't pull as much. And now this tab didn't really stick, so you probably have to do this one over. Sometimes that happens. Might have waited too long too. So I'm going to try it again. Yeah, sometimes the tabs won't stick. Good idea to, before you glue pull, to take a small buffer and buff the paint. Get all the waxes off the paint before you glue pull. Then take your alcohol, spray the area that you want to work, dry it, and then start working on it. So these tabs here take a little bit longer than a bigger tab, so we'll probably let that sit. Maybe that was why it didn't stick. Try that. It's all trial and error. Okay, it kind of stuck that time. So it's trial and error with the glue. Sometimes it all depends on temperature outside, whether it's gonna how hard it's gonna dry, how quick it's gonna dry. Sometimes it pulls, sometimes it doesn't. You just gotta go with it. Make sure it's clean. I'm tapping or drying it there just to save. Now, yeah, that actually did something. That's cool. I think there's a high spot there now, and it looks good. It looks good all the way to here now. That's where the high is. So remember, the outside of the dent was there. It's always good to know where your dent is, or was. So yeah, the outer dent was there, and I just pulled like right here, and it's actually looks pretty good. I think there's a high right there, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to tap that down. I believe there's a high. It's not much, according to the light. I put the light way back to get it out of our way. Yep, there's a micro high there. That's another thing, man. If you do a glue pull like we did, and then you like don't look to see what we just did, and there's a high there, and you keep on without tapping that high, it's going to be a nightmare to get it right, to make it look right. So yeah, you just, like I say, you got to take your time. So yeah, I set it right on top of the high. Just give it a little tap. That's all I'm doing. Now I got different kinds of knockdowns, and I got sharp ones, I got rubber tip ones like that, steel ones, round metal ones. Yeah, now I can still kind of see a little something. So like I say, I got a whole bag of tips and knockdowns. It looks like I'm going to use this one now. It's rubber, well, it's hard plastic, and it's pretty flat. And I can also use that side too if I want. But I don't want to mark the paint. I want to try not to mark the paint. Yeah, so I had to go get my glasses. So now I tapped it down with the rubber, but I can still see it. Just it's like micro. And it looks really good up to this point, up to where I pulled it, but there's a high there. So now I just this is a little bit harder. And it knocked it down just where I wanted it. And now if it's going to mark the paint, it's going to mark the paint a little bit. We're going to have to be able to, have to buff that off. So yeah, it's all trial and error. So the tab I had on the 3rd dot, now we're going to put another tab on the 4th dot. We're close to the 4th dot. Actually, yeah. Yep, it's going to be right on the 4th dot. So it's kind of good just to mark your areas, just so you know, you got an idea where it is, and you're not guessing. But yeah, I'm looking down the panel, and I'm looking right at the dot, and I can see my dot is like right on the money, right where it needs to be. Yeah, you guys like the content, please subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment too. Ring the bell, thumbs up. You got any questions, let me know. Okay, I'm wiggling the tab a little bit and I can still see it moving, so I'm going to let it sit for another whatever seconds. And we're going to go for it here. I'm going to stay at this angle. So that kind of stuck and it kind of didn't. So it might have pulled it and it might not have. Yeah, these little tabs, they're hit or miss, but when they grab, they really grab. So the bigger, flatter tabs, they grab real easy. I think it did something. Yeah, it actually pulled it really close. And that's nice. That's what you want. There's like a teeny high there. I'm wearing my glasses because they're kind of micro glasses, and they really zoom me in. Yeah, it marks the paint just a titch. Anytime you repaint something, the paint's not as hard. And I'm fortunate I don't have that line I was talking about. So yeah, we're good there. A lot of times, if the panel looks good this way, that's a good thing. You have to look at it this way too, because when I got my eyeballs going this way, I can still see something, but I don't see it this direction. That's a little hot tip for you. So now, let's see, we're on the 4th dot. We're probably going to be in between the 5th and 6th now. So let's see what we got. So I don't see much this way, but I see it more this way. So let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, that's 4, there's 5. So in between here and here, there's a low. So I'm going to put a tab right there, because I think I put the tab right on the 5th dot. So in the middle there's a low, and then it just kind of lows the rest of the way. So I can see where I tapped on the paint. I was working on a 1970 Nova yesterday, which would have been the 19th. 1925, and he had a repaint, and everywhere I tapped with the harder rubber or the harder plastic tap down, I left a mark. So yeah, I can see where I marked it here, marked it there. So I'm using Omni Clear. Obviously it's a little soft, it's not like hard as rock, so I can buff it, I can sand it, I can do this, I can do that with it, but it's probably not, it doesn't dry like a rock. But I'll be able to sand a little bit and buff these marks off if I'm careful. So I know I'm marking the paint, so I want to make sure I don't have real big highs. And I also want to make sure that I use the rubber tip when I'm tapping down 99% of the high. That way I only have to go a little bit of the harder plastic tap down, so it doesn't mark the paint as much. So I can still move the tab a little bit, so I'm just going to chill for a second. So yeah, let's just give it a shot. If it comes off, we'll just redo it. I can see it's moving the paint. Actually, I can see the tab, the glue, the hot glue actually marks the paint just a little bit according to the light. So yeah, that came up almost 100% right where we want it. So we put the tab here. So that was 5 and 6, in between 5 and 6. Now I'm going to go basically in between 6 and 7. We're not even going to tap that. It doesn't look high. And I'm looking at it too. If you don't look at it, you don't know. So that's another hot tip. Every time you do a push, if you're using tools, take a look at it. Make sure you didn't over push. 99% of the time you did. Doesn't look like it, but if you don't get down and look at it like we're doing now, you will never know. So we are going to, I can see better at this angle than I can straight on. So like I say, I'm going to go right here this time, right in between 6 and 7. You want the tab more straight up and down too. You don't want it like at an angle. Try to get it, when you set it in there, get it straight up and down. You can see, if you can see the tab moving like it is, you want to wait. That just tells you it's not setting up right away. So yeah, trying to make the videos as short as possible, but I want you guys to learn a little bit too. And my philosophy is, or the channel, the whole channel here is learning. It's not too exciting. I'm not jumping around. Don't got funky teeth. I'm not swearing and playing loud music. Just basically a learning channel. So hopefully you guys are learning something. I'm hoping you can actually see what's going on here. And I won't even be able to tell if you're seeing it until I get it on my computer. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and try it. It's not really doing anything this time. I don't know why. But like I say, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I might have let it sit too long because I was talking. But that's okay. Like you say, you gotta have patience. So now I'm going to look anyway and see if it pulled it up. And it kind of did. Yeah, it kind of did. So we're going to go ahead and go from, that's 5, in between 6 and 7. Now we're going to go between 7 and 8. So yeah, it definitely moved it. It doesn't. It's not going to take much now. So you don't want to get all happy with it. So now I'm going between 7 and 8, and I can see it's got to be right here. That's 7 and 8. So 5, 6, 7, and 8. These are all micro lows up here, and that's a good thing. It's less noticeable than it was. I dented it with a block of wood because I was trying to get the hood down. The bow here, because it's an aftermarket hood, doesn't fit the original fenders. Yeah, you know how much a brand new factory Ford Mach 1 hood is? I think it's like, I'm guessing, but I'm thinking maybe $1,400, $1,500 with shipping, maybe more. And you can't find an original one painted or anything because nobody's selling them, and if you could, they're all dented and rusted out. So yeah, this pull here is not really working either. There could be some contamination, but it did move it, so we'll see. I think I'm letting it sit on there too long because I've been talking. I got to pay more attention to what I'm doing here. So now I'm just kind of looking, and I can see it didn't really do anything. So we're going to go ahead and do it again. We're going to do it again, except this time I'm going to make sure I get it pulled. I think it's right here. So we got 5, 6, 7, and 8. Yep. Yep. Just gonna let it sit there. Like I say, if you don't have patience, don't even attempt to do this stuff. I see guys trying to do it, and they just get all happy and they over pull and they think they got it, but it looks like crap, and they know it, but they won't say it, you know. So yeah, gentle pulls, keep doing it. Okay, that time it kind of did something. So now I'm going to clean it up. A little bit of alcohol. Gotta grab something. Look at it and see if it moved. I don't see any highs. I'm looking at it at this angle, and it looks like it moved. So let's see, that was 5, 6, 7, in between 7 and 8. I can see it moved. Very micro-y in here. It's so minute now. I'm really happy with it. It's micro-y the rest of the way, so we barely have anything left. I can see from this angle, I can see a little low right here. So let's see, what is that? That must be, that's right where I pulled, I think. So like I say, even though I did my tap down, sometimes when we're lifting up, you still have to look. You might end up doing something. So I'm going to put my finger. So right there, which is on 6, I see a little something. So we're going to go ahead and give it a little more. Right there. I can't really see it this way, but I can see it this way. You have to look all over. So now I'm gonna place the tab right here this time. Because I could see in the light, I could see just a little micro dip. This is like, I could leave this probably, and it would be better than obviously it was before, because we got up 90%. Now we're just working the last 10, and with the glue, and hopefully, I mean, it's as good as it's going to get. You're not going to get it any better. I lifted it. I seen the metal move. It's not sticking to this tab very good. This tab's getting old too, but I moved the metal that time. I think we're going to be okay right in this little spot. Yep, we're pretty good, but now I see something right there I want to get. So now we're kind of backtracking a little bit. Like I say, I can't see it. I can't see it this angle, but I can see it this angle. It's all about doing the angles. A lot of times you go, oh man, it looks super sweet looking down the hood, and then you come at this angle, you're like, oh my gosh. It just breaks your heart, because it still needs a whole bunch of work, and you're all bummed out because you thought you could move on to the next dent, but nope, you can't. Another guy told me, make sure everything that you work on is as good as you can get it. 99%. If you can get it if you can get it 95% or better and move on to the next one, because if you don't, when you're done with the project, ooh, that's a good pull. You're going to have to go back because it's going to look like crap. So don't get into a rush. There's the patience thing again. Don't look at your clock. Oh man, I've been working on it for an hour. Well, that's how long it took. Alright, now we're going to wipe this little area. I think I gotta tap it down too. And I think, well, let's see now. Yep. I'm talking, I probably wouldn't have to tap it down, but I'm going to. Just because I see something. I mean, it's so minute that I probably wouldn't even have to do it. So I got another tap down rubber tip. It's more of a pointy one. So I think this will be better than the round ball that I was using. And I'm going to move my light forward just a bit. And yeah, I can barely see anything, so it's not going to... That's it. I'm just massaging it. Not denting it. So, let's see what we got. Okay. It looks super good this way. It looks 100%, but it's not. And when I look this way, I can barely see anything besides a couple teeny weeny micro lows. So you want to go after the biggest micro low. So they're all micro, but there's always a bigger one. So I see a bigger one right there. And I'm going to switch from this to this. And I don't have a dot there, but I can see it. So you want to make sure you put the tab where it needs to be. Not in front of the dent, not in back of the dent, in the center of the dent. And you don't want to over pull. So you want to adjust it. And if you think you're going to over pull, adjust it more. It's harder to tap down than it is, a little high is nothing compared to a big high. So I'm going to let that tab sit a titch more. Yeah, these littler tabs have to sit longer. And if they sit too long, then they don't stick. Kind of like it happened to us. So I'm going to go ahead and try it. Okay, it's sticking. So yeah, if it sits too long, it won't stick, and if it sticks not long enough, it won't stick. So glue's really finicky. So go ahead and clean it off. Don't need a lot of alcohol to get it off. Just gonna dab it. I don't think I'll be seeing a high spot, but you never know, and I'll tell you, look. I don't see a high spot. Just remember where you pulled. So I can see exactly where it was right there, and it's almost 100%. But right here, there's a little low, so we're going to go ahead. I'm talking so low or so minor that most guys would leave it. But if I can see it, I'm going to try to get it. And it's really minute. So yeah, I can see maybe this one, there's another one, maybe another one, and another one, and we're probably done with it. So maybe 5 or 6 more of these, and we're good to go. And the next step is to clean it, compound it. If I gotta sand it where those marks were, I'd do that. Glaze it, done. So we're gonna try, maybe, but I don't think so. Felt like it did a little pull. Not good enough. The one good thing is we're not pulling any paint, because if I did, you'd see one unhappy person. There's other ways of pulling besides using this lifter. You got the slide hammer. Now I could slide hammer, but it's really hard to it's just hard, and you'll end up getting too much of a high spot on little stuff. But if I could not get what I want to get out with this, I'd have to just give it a little bit. And you got a better chance of pulling paint with the slide hammer. So hopefully we can get this out. Okay, that kind of felt like it did something. You heard it snap. So that's kind of the glue holding on to the hood paint. So I think we probably did something there. Kinda. So now I'm going to use the slide hammer, because when the lifter here can't do the job, then you pull out the slider and you give it a little tap, and that just gives it a little more snap than this would. Yeah, you got a better chance of pulling paint, but we're so minute here that we just need a little bit more to get the dent out. I mean, it is what it is. So yeah, here we go. Just want to make sure you don't touch the paint with it. Hear that? That was a good one. Didn't pull any paint, thank goodness. Alright, I'm looking at where we pulled, and that pretty much did what we wanted it to do. It got that micro low out. Sometimes you need a little bit extra where this won't work. Okay, I'm looking at it this way, it looks really good. Now I'm looking at it this way, and I still see some micro, so we're going to keep working. And I'm not gonna stop until I'm satisfied with it, and then I'm gonna say good enough. That's what you got to do when you do PDR. If you do the best that you can do, and it looks pretty dang nice, the customer should be happy, and if they're not, well, you keep working on it until they're happy. If it's your own car, then you don't got to please anybody but yourself, right? So yeah, the Nova I was working on yesterday had that soft paint. It was orange, and it had a 354 speed in it, and it was an SS, so yeah, it's pretty nice. And it had a big dent in the door like somebody kneed it. Probably at a bar. Some drunk fell into it, something. Didn't get 100% of it, but we got a lot. We got a huge amount out, and he was super tickled with it. And yeah. So yeah, I worked on that 3 hours. Okay, I see a little high. I didn't want to use this, but I had to, because I knew that my rubber tip tool wasn't going to do it. Now, I can see another micro low, so we're just going to stay on this and go for it this way. So I was kind of looking this way when I was putting the tabs on, but this is so micro that I can see it better at this angle. Yeah, at this angle you can see all the orange peel. You know, this is smooth, pretty smooth, but there's still orange peel in the paint. And this light just magnifies everything by 10. So I can see stuff when the light's on it, but I can't see it when the light ain't on it, unless you're out just in the perfect, you know, light. So, yeah, let's just see if we can go ahead and get this quick. Like I say, that sounded good. And I can see, I can see it like a little high right here. And I really don't want to use this, but I know that the other tool won't do it. So everywhere I tap, I'm marking it. I mean, it's a micro mark. It'll sand right out. It'll just buff out, probably. That's how minute they are. It's just like a little mar. So I'm looking at it, and yeah, I see something right there I don't like. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get this part of it, and then we're gonna buff it and just get these marks off of there and see what it looks like after that. If you guys want to see more paintless dent videos, let me know. I fix a lot of dents, but I don't have a cameraman, so I really didn't think that you'd be able to see what I was doing. And I'm still not sure because, like I say, I don't know. But if you like what you see, let me know, and I can do, you know, more paintless dent videos. I can do some training, kind of get you guys started. I see sometimes on, you know, I watch a YouTube video and some guy says, oh, I'm gonna go buy a starter kit on Amazon and blah blah blah, and he starts working on his own car and he just F's it up. My recommendation is, yeah, go buy the little kit on Amazon. That's great. Get your little light and kind of doing what we're doing here, but don't do it on your car. Go to a junkyard or a body shop and go get a smashed hood and work on that. You know, don't work on your own car. I see guys working on their nice car and they just botch it up. And when that happens, then it's pretty hard to fix. And the reason why is because the metal was stretched down, now it's stretched up, and you have to tap everything down, and you end up damaging the paint and probably the dent, and it's just a nightmare to try to fix. So you don't want to over pull. You know, you're always going to over pull a little bit. Like right here, we over pull just a titch. Glue pulling, the only way you're getting the dent out is, you know, by pulling on it. If you're tooling it, you're pushing on it, and you can still over push. So you're going to be tapping on the paint one way or the other. You just want to tap micro highs, not, you know, big huge volcanoes, you know. So that looks pretty good. You can't probably see it, but I'm going to go ahead and take my buffer and we're going to buff this off quick. At least try to buff it off. So I'm just going to use a little compound. I'm not even going to try to use alcohol on the spots. Let's just see if we can get them off with the compound. Yep, they're coming right off. Okay, we got the spots off. So now I'm just going to wipe the compound off. I'm not getting too carried away because the hood's got probably dirt on it from from what I've been working on in here, and I don't want to get crazy with it, so I get scratched up. So yeah, what I'm looking at now is about, I see about 100%, you know, better than it was. So I'm actually pretty happy with it. There's a couple more micro lows in there. Looking at it, I see one here, which we're gonna go ahead and get. And I'm picky. I see one there. I mean, this one's like a half a micro low, and this one's definitely a micro. So that's how picky you gotta be when you do paintless dent, because the better you get it, the better it looks, and at the end of the day, that's what you're looking for. So I see one right here, and I can see it in the light, and I know exactly where to put it. I don't have to mark it. And then I see another one right here and right there. And then all I see now is the tap marks, which I'll end up using maybe some 2025 and get it back to where it was when I buffed it. I did a buffing video too on parts of this thing, on the fenders, I think. Yep. And yeah, so I'll go ahead and I'll hit it 2025. Those little marks will come off of there, and then we'll be back to where it was before I dented it. So I'm pretty happy with how it's turning out. I can't expect it to be any better than that. If I give it my all, hopefully something happened there. I don't know if it did anything, because it didn't pull much. So let me see. So now I'm looking at it, and it probably did half of it. So I'm going to go ahead and do it again. And I see exactly where it needs to be. And the reason I'm not using the lifter anymore is because these things are so, it seems like the lifter obviously ain't doing it. So if the lifter don't do it, you're going to have to figure out another way, and that's going to be the slide hammer. And like I say, you got to be careful with it. There, it did. I think it'll probably do it good enough this time. But yeah, you don't want to over pull now, because every time we over pull it, we're going to mark the paint. There you go. That turned out really nice. So we're going to leave that. I see one more little guy right there. And this dent, hopefully you could see it. It was in, we fixed it real time now. I actually put the tab in the exact same spot because I put it right over some push marks, or some tap marks. So yeah, one thing we don't want to do is we don't want to ruin the paint. So if we're going to be tapping on it and ruining it, we're done. We're not going to do it anymore. We'll have to live with what we got. And there's little waves in the hood. And I made a video on this hood blocking it. So it was either Bondo the whole hood, because it's aftermarket, it's not perfect, it was full of waves. I'd say the waves are, this hood looks like 80% better. I'm not gonna say 100, even though I wanted to, but it looks way better. So I see one more little one that I don't like, so we're gonna go ahead and try to get it. So yeah, this is a PDR 101, man. If you guys want to see more of these kind of videos, let me know for sure. Leave a comment, subscribe, please. It'll help me grow my channel, and that's kind of why I'm doing it, just do the learning part of it, teach. If you guys are interested in paintless dent, yeah, let me know. And we do the bigger dents are harder. They're never 100%. I don't care who does them, but I'd rather do smaller dents, and even them are hard, to get 100%. I never say I can get 100. I can get it in the high 90s, and if you see it walking by, you didn't do a good enough job. But if you got to sit down there and look and microscopic and be a pick about it, then auto body and paint if it ain't good enough for you. So yeah, that one there, I did it, and I see a little high now. Cool. So now we'll give it a little tap. I mean, we barely even touched it, and there's a high. And I think you guys can see it in the camera this time. I can see it perfect. It's right there. You can see it in the light. I'm going to bring the camera up and down, just like my eyes are doing. We're right there. So we're going to give it a tap-a-roo. I'm going to use the rubber tipper. And I can see a couple other highs. in the light right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and get them. And I like this rubber tip. It's working. And it is not leaving a mark. So these are so micro that you don't have to hit the highs that hard, and it's not leaving a mark, so that's a good thing. So I see two more that we can mess around with. Got that one, and got a little something I don't like. Like I say, don't guess. I'm going to come back to this one. I'm going to come back to this one. Pretty close. Now I'm going to buff a little bit, just for S and G's. Get yourself a micro buffer. It's a whole lot easier than pulling out the big boy. I'm not going to glaze it because I'm going to have to still sand it now. And get those tap marks off. Yep, there we go. I'm happy with it. It's not perfect, but guess what? It's never gonna be, and it looks really close. I'm sure you guys can see, but if you look, you can see kind of a couple little marks in the paint. I'm gonna let it sit till tomorrow, probably, just because the alcohol can soften up the paint a little bit. So we'll let it sit till tomorrow. I'll just give it a little bit, 2025, and I'll just buff this area. I'm going to use a hard block because that'll knock down maybe even something else that we didn't see, and buff it. It'll look so good. That's how you do it. That's how you do it, folks. Hope you guys learned something. Like I say, I do my best in trying to teach you guys what I know. If you got any questions, leave me a comment. I'll get back to you. I'll give you all the info I can. Hope you guys having a good day. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.